Good morning. Welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Wednesday, the 1st of June. So it's a pinch and a punch for the first day of the month then, isn't it? Right, getting on with the markets and euro dollar. Um, Looking at where we're sitting at the moment. So bounced off the 200 yesterday. Just couldn't, we just run out of legs as it ran into 4 hourly 50, to hourly 200. Just completely run out of legs and, well, I don't know if it's brought partially down with the weakness of the pound, as we saw the pound being sold off. The euro seems to come with it, so to a degree. So where we're sitting at the moment, then, well, it's continued in this bit bearish sort of zone. I had on the 4 hourly drawn this trend line across the highs here, which it had broken at one stage, and um, probably looked a little bit more bullish. But actually, when you looked at the price action on the shorter term, it didn't look particularly bullish at all. Okay, so let's have a look at the 60-minute and sort of get a bit of a picture to where we are for today. This intermediate time has gone back into lower highs, lower lows, having had the high yesterday. Now, it has got a daily pivot above us, but we're sort of already quite a way back from that. Every time the 60 21s um, seemed, and 50, 60-minute 50 have all provided resistance so far. If it can break up towards or start moving up more positively again on the shorter time frames, it may be a long opportunity, but there's not a lot of fat in this ever these days, and it's only around about 12 pips. If it does start moving up that way to a daily pivot, it is quite limited from that perspective at the moment. There is, however, possibly more of a trending sort of move which could last a little bit longer if it starts breaking to the downside. Now, yesterday I was very much quite looking for the bullishness if it broke that 200 moving average, but perhaps we've been putting the higher lows in. It looks more positive, but it just shows you how fickle this market is at the moment, and I'm really quite bearish on the downside of that. Okay, cable, wonderful exit poll, Brexit poll even, yesterday. It brought it right way down towards its monthly pivot. It's just overshot that somewhat yesterday, but it's been so close to at the moment, and with the data that's came out, it might want to continue on today. Um, there's a little more to add in that respect. It's looking quite bearish. Has got daily and weekly, daily and monthly pivots above us, which any sort of counter polls may see rallies for, and it's we very much are into that sort of zone of driven by polls, and there's certainly opportunities at times as this occurs um, to capture part of the trade at least. But anyway, where we sit at the moment, I feel uncomfortable taking longs, but there may be an opportunity that to take small longs within this market. The problem here, although we've got good targets above us, is the 60-21s maybe, but just really need to see how this runs off. Alternatively, there are short opportunities, but again, I don't want to be selling too early into this. We may just see a bit of a fake out this morning and a lot of consolidation. But if we see a decent bit of consolidation this morning and it breaks this afternoon, I'll be looking to take the go with this trend that we're sort of starting to see in here. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, big recovery during the night. They've delayed the sales tax hikes for 2.5 years. This is seen positively for inflation. Well, I say inflation, it's hardly going to help inflation, but certainly it may help the economy somewhat. Um, so on that basis, we've seen it in initial rally. They're probably hoping now it'll, I say rally, but rally as in the strength of the yen. We're not too far away from the monthly pivot. If we do see another surge downwards, that would be a decent target at the moment. It's just finding support off the 4 hourly 100 here. It's back into its daily 100, which is, although is sloping, which sloping downwards, may see it break at some point. Um, Okay, not much else to say on that time frame. 60-minute. Well, we missed a daily pivot just, but it's chopped. It's done a fair old range. Um, there may be some opportunities to buy into these prior lows, around these prior lows later. If it was to come down there, may find some support and look for probably some reversal signals at that point for a bit more of a bounce potentially. Okay, Aussie dollar. So look at the Aussie dollar, and it's just really run into its daily 21. I was looking at this as a potential target at one stage for it to run up. That was yesterday, I believe it was. I was talking about that. If it surged through there, it would be a target. Well, it's reacted to it almost straight away. Also had good news over the Asian session. The GDP was much better than expected, and it caused a nice surge there, but it's not really hanging on to those gains. It's reflected off that moving average, and we're now seeing the gains given back. Now it has switched a little bit here to the higher lows, and well, there is potential that it may find support once again off those 21s or the 34 or something, and continue its track up there. But it has got the daily pivot sitting below, which is possibly a reasonable draw. I'm looking elsewhere, but in the next day or two, we could easily push up towards that monthly pivot. Really depending on, I think, the US dollar strength here as much as anything else. The news from the Aussie dollar side pretty positive. Okay, and Canadian dollar. Well, I will just switch on to oil first, and you see oil had been around that $50 set point. It's just coming off a little bit. There are some talks this week which may also break down, but there are talks. If those talks break down or don't come to anything, we could probably see oil kick off towards that monthly pivot quite easily next day or so. So if it doesn't do it earlier, but at the moment bringing that down, so pushing the Canadian dollar is more potential weakness for the Canadian dollar, so it could be pushing upwards here against this US dollar. Has got though monthly pivot below and 50, which would be a reasonable target at some point. If it starts selling off, it starts becoming a decent play. We haven't seen the sort of day where it's come right the way off as far as to this point here, but I'd be a certain buyer if it came back down to that 129.12 area, 13.14 area today, if it did it today. But for now, it's got the higher lows, higher highs, and it's looking more bullish than bearish, and maybe wanting to push on for yesterday's highs and maybe the R1. Okay, that's it for me. News-wise today, sorry, let's just run over today's news for you. And we've had early numbers coming out, and we've had GDP, we've had that 815, right, Spanish manufacturing PMI. Okay, so we've got the manufacturing PMI figures. Of course, we're running back into the first of the month, and we're starting with the some key numbers coming out here. I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing some figures showing some indecision or whatever else this week from last month, bearing in mind all the Brexit talk, and it will all be put down to the uncertainties and give the stay campaign more power, I guess, for a little while, and may strengthen the pound, ironically. But manufacturing PMI today and manufacturing in the US at 3 o'clock, so two manufacturing figures, 9:30 and 3 o'clock, both of them got the potential of creating some volatility there. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.